Welcome to Leaders in the Industry, a podcast giving insight on current hot topics in the field of finance, IT, marketing, HR, healthcare, asset management, and the financial industry, featuring well-known experts. From leaders, for leaders. Brought to you by Richmond Events Switzerland.
Hello and welcome, Marilen Schwald. My name is Helge Ole Hansen, Director of Richmond Events, and it's a pleasure to have this podcast with you, Marilen. Sit down and relax.
After 10 years in the corporate world, Marilen Schwald has been self-employed since September 2022. She is the co-founder of Women Matters, Managing Director of INNOVATION Basel, as well as of Donati Vini. She is also an external lecturer at the FHNW and HWZ, and regularly speaks in the national press and on stage about networking, leadership, and sustainability. Before she started her own businesses, she was head of sustainability at BLKB.
Let's start a little bit easy and with our first question. It's your first time speaking at Richmond Financial Industry Forum. What are you looking forward to the most?
The most actually meeting new people, like the whole networking and talking about like different ways and experiences that people have already made. So also learning about success stories, maybe also some lowlights, because sometimes you can learn a lot from these kind of stories. But really, I guess, meeting the new people and their experiences.
If you look in that backside, becoming who you are today, how did you begin to this point in your career and keep this inspired?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I said yes to new challenges very often. I was not scared very much. I was rather interested and thought like I can learn like by doing it. So I said yes very often, and that's how I kind of came into these new situations again and again. And the saying yes got easier over time. And it was very then also like inspiring whenever I met new people, new challenges, and realized actually with a good network around, you can manage these challenges. I don't have to know everything by my own. Like I can ask people and experts in various fields if I feel uncertain. And so all this together kind of made my career, I guess.
That's really inspiring from my side also. And how do you apply it to your everyday life, especially regarding sustainability?
Yeah, I guess like now, since I had like a job change now, before I was like head of sustainability at the Kantonalbank, now I am self-employed, and I think that sustainability is part of my daily life in terms of that I of course want to apply it in all of my businesses that I have privately and when working.
That's good, and thank you for that. And let's do a little deep dive regarding sustainability and its transformation, not only startups and the other companies, but what do you see in the future for the companies, for the teams, for you as a leader?
I guess it will get even more complex. It's already like, of course, a very complex topic. It's huge, and nobody can or no company can solve it alone. So we need to collaborate even more. People need to talk and exchange more in order to solve this big of issue that we kind of have. And actually, like a situation comes up to my mind, and I also used that when I was working within the bank. My grandma always used to say, like, she can't save the world, but she can do good within her neighborhood and with the people that she actually has access to. And I think with that kind of spirit, we can like everybody has a role and a part within that big transformation. And we need to act, everyone in their certain field of influence.
As you said, it's a really big picture, and if we do little steps, then we can go forward, looking in front of your door, in my door, and then, yeah, again, then it's a good way to do it. Do you have 3 tips on how to integrate sustainability for our listeners?
Yes, I think you always have to start like with a good framework that is like accountable for you, your industry, the business that you're in. You need to define sustainability in order to make it understandable and also like tangible, I would say, like, because it's so big that not all of the issues are then relevant for your business. So break it down, make a framework for your company, and make sure that you have clear goals that are also supported by the top management. Then I would go back to that whole collaboration thing. So I think teamwork is really, really important, and it's change management. So people are actually the key to your success. So you need to kind of be able to do the change management, to guide people through the whole process, because otherwise you won't be successful. And as a third, I would say, look at it really in a holistic way. You cannot just do something and then forget about everything else. Here, as a small example, a lot of people, when it comes to sustainability, think about the green, sustainable aspects, but then forget, for example, how they treat their employees. And I think that is not then understandable for neither your employees nor your customers. So you need to kind of be able to show that you actually really want to be sustainable, and then you cannot miss out on these important aspects.
Before we get to the last question, and think a little bit away from sustainability, what do you think makes a good leader for you?
For me, it's clear an authentic leader. I think that you need to talk also about the lowlights. Of course, also highlights are important. But I think you need to be you, and you need to be able to motivate people, but also show that not everything is perfect. We can celebrate small steps, especially in sustainability. I think that's important because it's so big. So go forward step by step and keep your people around you. Of course, emotional intelligent person, meaning that you need to understand with whom you're working with, who's around you, how are the people feeling, and then also you need to be able to set boundaries, because if you get too involved, sometimes this of course can be hard. But somebody that actually manages to be a good leader in the sense of going forward, having a mission, a vision, and influence people with that, and showing that you're a human being and this connection, I think that's a mixture that then is really interesting and motivating for employees.
If you look to May 2023, as we said, it's your first time over there. Could you give us a small teaser into your topic? What exactly are you going to talk about for the Richmond Financial Industry Forum? Back to the topic, sustainability as a business model, a successful implementation.
Yeah, as you just said, I mean, the main part will really be the example that I did at the Kantonalbank. So we will go through like year after year, actually look at what I did in order to implement it. So of course, I will talk about the good and the not so good things, and in how far I would actually now do some things a little bit differently than when I did it for the first time. I will also talk about like what people understand when it comes to sustainability, because there are like different understandings so far. This as a little teaser. And that's based on a research that we did some years ago. But yeah, I would say the main thing is really about like showing an example of how to implement sustainability in a business. And the business model I will, of course, focus on will be a banking example, since it's the Financial Industry Forum.
We are very excited. Thank you very much for this podcast, for your inputs. Thank you, Marilen.
Thank you. It was nice being here. Many thanks.
This was Leaders in the Industry, brought to you by Richmond Events Switzerland, organising one-of-a-kind strategic business forums for executives since 1990. Follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Spotify and richmondevents.ch to stay up to date with our podcast and news.